Peace, love, and light energy, friends of the earth. It's me, Aria, and we are talking today about death and dying. You know, with Michael Jackson dying, a lot of people have been coming to me recently asking me my opinion, my spiritual discourse based on his death, based on his life. You know what? I'm not here to judge anyone. And I'm not here to say how I feel personally about the situation. I will say this, and this is where I stand, and I will back myself up every time I believe this. You attract everything to you, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And so death is one of those things that can be attracted to you, consciously or subconsciously. It can just also just be your time to go in a way. If you feel like you've done everything in this lifetime, you've accomplished things, you feel like it's really time for your spirit to go, death will ensue naturally. I think when we start holding on to life in a way that is unhealthy, I think we tend to view death as a bad thing, and that's unhealthy. Living is great. It's being, you're existing here in the 3D, you have another reality, you've been incarnated here. It's beautiful, right? But when you die, it's not the end. You're not going into a void. You're not going to heaven or hell, so to speak. Heaven is really, it's just a place in your mind, and hell is as well. You can be in heaven or hell on planet Earth right now, wherever time, space, reality you're in. So I think that part of it is accepting death as a positive thing. First of all, you have to change your perspective. I think we have had way too many social systems and societies have told us to believe a certain thing. You know, the Christian religion has done a lot of wrong with this, you know, because a lot of people only believe in Christianity because they believe they'll go to hell if they don't believe it. And I think if that clause wasn't in the Bible, or if these preachers weren't preaching that, most people wouldn't be a Christian. They don't focus on the happiness aspect of it. A lot of times people are drawn into it from fear. And a lot of people are drawn into a lot of religions for that way, or political systems for that matter. But in this case, we have to really look at death as a positive thing. It's just basically you releasing yourself from the constraints of your body. You can literally leave your body. I mean, if you're conscious enough, you can make yourself die consciously. You can meditate and leave your body, literally. Most people are not at that level of awareness to do that. Most people aren't even aware of their own energy patterns, of their own energy matrix grid that they themselves as an energy spirit being are. When you become more aware of those things on a level, then you realize, oh my gosh, energy is never created or destroyed. This is basic science. I take this when I talk about death and dying. If you are an energy source, you are not created or destroyed. You are always there. You will always exist in some form or another. So with that said, I think that when we die, we sort of go to another place. It's not heaven or hell. It's just our spirit home. And there, we can choose where we want to go to within the God universe, okay? And so there are different levels of experience, and that's part of the reason why I believe in reincarnation, because this God experience is never ending. It's never began, it never ended, okay? So you're always going somewhere, you're always existing, you're always being in some form or another. And so I think that it's interdimensional. Some people think you have to work up, you know, from the 2nd dimension to the 9th dimension. No, it's not that. I think it's just whatever God wants to experience through you. What do you want to experience as God, rather? Let me rephrase that. Hence reincarnation, a lot of people want to have the human experience living on planet Earth right now. It is a wonderful experience. You get free will. You get to pretty much do whatever you want. You can pretty much believe whatever you want. There's a sense of freedom here on this plane, on this plane that you don't see in other planes of dimension, of existence, of anything. I think that Earth is to be cherished. And so when we leave this place, it's to be cherished. We had this wonderful experience. It's cherished. Michael Jackson, he had a hard life. He had a wonderful life, depending on who you talk to, who you ask. Whatever the case is, he accomplished what he had to. On a soul level, he was ready to move on. I think we forget we're not earthly beings. It doesn't matter if you sold out on a tour, or if millions of people want to see you around the world, you have all this money. It doesn't matter. What are you doing on a soul level? Are you consciously living? Are you consciously dying? Are you unconsciously living? Are you unconsciously dying? Is it just that time for you to go? One can say you're consciously doing it. One can say you're unconsciously doing it. I personally believe that most people are just not at a level of consciousness to really understand the dying and the death process. And so most people might not even be aware that they are about to die or that they're dying. I think sometimes for people it happens. So Jackson thing, I don't know what was going on in his life. I can't answer that. But what I can say is that he accomplished a lot of things, and so he leaves behind a wonderful legacy. And I think we should look at that. We should look at the beautiful, the positive aspects of it, not so much, oh, he died, we're not going to get any more music from him and all that. It's like, these are all earthly things. Where is the spiritual lesson? What are we learning spiritually? Doesn't matter how poor or how rich you are. You can have a wonderful life, you can have an awful life. A lot of times, if you do believe in negative belief systems, or systems of belief that take the power away from yourself, you will attract death to you. Because if you're not creating, if you're not consciously creating a lot of times, you are not truly living to your fullest potential. I'll say that again. If you're not consciously creating life, how are you going to attract life? If you're miserable all the time, if you're sick all the time, okay, which is a whole nother subject into itself. But a lot of times our sicknesses that we do have are a result of our emotional imbalances, alright, and our spiritual imbalances. This is why I like Ayurveda and I like Chinese medicine for this. They're very ahead of their Western counterparts because they do take into that emotional and that chi, life force, so to speak. How much of that is in you? How much are you living to your true potential? I mean, scientists are starting to figure this out now. Negative beliefs, negative ideas, even just always feeling angry or mad or sad all the time will affect your health. It will attract sickness to you. It will weaken your immune system over time. And so you wonder when you're 60 years old and you might, develop this disease and you don't know why you came here and you don't know what you're doing here. You've never really had a greater purpose for yourself. You've never really done anything for anyone else. You've always kind of lived for yourself unconsciously. You might attract sickness to you eventually. A lot of times it's to wake you up and to put you on the right path, to put you in that good emotional state, okay? You can figure that out at a young age. Not to say you can elude death, because I think death in this physical reality is something that many of us will experience or are experiencing or have experienced. That's just the way you leave your body. That's just the way you leave the constraints of the physical body. You have to be knocked out, so to speak. And then your soul is free to go wherever it wants. And so I also think, once again, with that said, sickness and death are not related completely, okay? If you have negative belief systems that cause you to be sick, then you might make yourself more susceptible to an early death or, in just a miserable life. And I think, once again, it's about creating life for yourself. It's about creating joy, being the artist who you are, okay, of yourself, creating yourself, creating life. Life attracts life. We all will die. That's inevitable. But we can make our life the fullest that it can be while we are here, and we can enjoy it. We can be in these great emotional places while we're here and while we're existing. And so, I don't want to say that everyone who attracts cancer to them is consciously saying, oh, I want to die. No, it's not that. It's you are buying into these unconscious belief systems that you have no power, you have no control over yourself. Most people don't believe that they can heal themselves when they are terminally ill or if they have lifelong diseases. They think that they're stuck there, that they can't heal themselves. And I'm here to tell you, I've experienced some things in my own life. Anything can be healed, okay? You change your pattern, you change your mind, you can heal yourself. And so, even with my own self, I've been really sick this year, and I had to really think about, what am I doing to attract this? Why am I not attracting more life into me? Why am I attracting sickness? And I realized there's a lot of emotional things going on within me that I had to balance. And I think the more I do that, the more I'm uncovering, oh my gosh, there's so many layers of things. I've developed this, and then this becomes that, and it's like a never-ending thing. And, when I look at the spiritual counterpart, the actual meaning of that particular body part, I say to myself, oh my gosh, I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not loving myself, I'm not living with high joy, with high creation. I was having horrible pelvic pain for a long time. I thought I had endometriosis. I realized that it was my own anger towards society and, having to be a woman in society and having to actually survive and take care of myself. And, I think I've had a lot of lifetimes being supported by other people, particularly men. And so I would put that to my Libra North Node, my Aries North Node, which means I'm supposed to be independent, but my Libra South Node would say, oh my gosh, I've had a lot of lifetimes being supported by other people, being sort of giving myself away to other people, and always looking to make other people happy. And so these patterns have reemerged in this lifetime, of course. And so I have to let go, release that, and release the anger that I can't be like that anymore. I have to do my own thing. And, it's very minute like that. It can be the most minute emotion that you experience, and you might not even realize that's making you sick. But it can be that is making you sick. Fix the imbalance, and you are balanced.